Business Calculus, Topic 6, Homework Problems 12, 14, and 20. We want to find the area of the indicated region between y equals x squared and y equals -2, between x is -1 and 1. Now let me give you a picture of what this looks like. Y equals x squared is a parabola. It's about like that. Y equals -2 is a horizontal line. It's about in this area. And the area between -1 and 1 is from about here to about there. So we're looking for this area in this region right here. So we want the area between -1 and 1, and this will be the upper curve. Here the upper curve is x squared minus the lower curve, which is here -2. So parentheses -2. And we want all that with respect to x. So from -1 to 1, from here to here on the x-axis, and we want the upper curve x squared minus the lower curve -2. Now when we simplify this, we're going to get x squared plus 2 dx, and the antiderivative of x squared will be x cubed times 1/3, and the antiderivative of 2 will be 2x. And we're going to evaluate that from -1 to 1. Now when I put 1 in here, we'll get 1 to the third power, which is 1 times 1/3. So that'll be 1/3. And 1 times 2 is 2, so that'll be plus 2. And we put -1 here to the third power. We get -1 times 1/3, which is -1/3. And then -1 times 2 is -2. I'll change these signs here, and we'll end up with 1/3 plus 2 plus positive 1/3 and a positive 2. If I add the 1/3 and 1/3, I'll get 2/3. If I add the 2's and 2's, I get 4. So 4 and 2/3. Or you can write this as 14/3. Both are good for the area. Okay, next, find the area of the indicated region between x's y equals e to the x and y equals x, between 0 and 1. Let's give the picture of that, what this looks like. Y equals e to the x, that goes through 0, 1, and it's asymptotic to y equals 0. And also, it is a slow to rapid growth. Okay. Now, y equals x, that is a line that goes right through the diagonal, right there. Okay. And we want the area between 0 and 1. So x is 0 here, and x is 1 there. So right there is where we want to find the area of this graph, in that section right there. So that's from 0 to 1. The upper graph right here is e to the x, and the lower graph down here is going to be your minus x, and that's dx. Alright, so let's take the antiderivative of this function. Antiderivative of e to the x is e to the x. The antiderivative of x is x squared times 1/2. Evaluate from 0 to 1. Alright, when I put my 1 here and here, we're going to get e to the 1 minus 1 squared, which is 1, times 1/2. When I put my 0 here, I'll get e to the 0, and here, a 0 here will give me 0 altogether. Alright, so this will be e minus 1/2. This e will be, e to the 0 is 1, so this will be minus 1. And so when we put these two together, we'll get e minus 3/2. And this is my area. Alright, number 20. Number 20, suppose that your daily revenue function is r equals 100 minus 10 times t, and t is between 0 and $5 per day. And t is representing the days from the beginning of the week. Now, and your daily costs are 85 minus 5 times t, and that's again from 0 to 5 days. We want to find the area between the two graphs R and C from t is 0 to 5. So to find the area, will go from 0 to 5, and the revenue function, which is 100 plus 10t, put a big bracket on this, minus the cost function, which is 85 plus 5t, close that big bracket, with respect to t. Okay, so area between those two curves. And again, I know my revenue function right here. My revenue is exceeding my cost function. That's why I made the revenue function the upper function and the cost function the lower function. Okay, so let's clean this up a little bit. We'll keep the overall bracket and make this 100 plus 10t, and this a negative 85 and a negative 5t bracket t. And then we'll combine like terms. The 100 and the negative 85, that gives me 15, and the 10t and a negative 5t gives me a positive 5t. Okay, dt. Alright, now the antiderivative of 15 with respect to t is 15t, and the antiderivative of 5t with respect to t is t squared times 1/2. And that'll be 0 to 5. Alright, now let's evaluate this. If I put 5 in here, 5 times 15, that gives me 75. And then 5 squared is 25. And then 25 times 5 is 125 over 2. Okay. Alright. Now if I put the 0 in for here and here, we'll get 0. So minus 0. Okay. So what remains is this. If I multiply this by 2, I'm going to get 150 over 2 plus 125 over 2. And when I add those, I'll get 5, a 7, and a 2 all over 2. Okay. And let's clean that up a bit. 2 goes into one time. 2 goes into, let's say, 70. That'll be 35 plus 2, 37 and a half. So $137.50. And that will be my total. Let's see. I have a revenue and costs. The difference between revenue and cost is profit. So this is total profit. My total profit.